going to talk to you about some of the main culprits that could be sabotaging your health journey that you may not even be aware of is inside your body already. And so today we're going to talk about none other than parasites. Yes, parasites. And unfortunately, because of the toxic world that we live in, we all are susceptible to them. But I'm going to tell you how you can spot them, how you can minimize how much you get exposed to, and what to do about it. Listen, guys, if you're new to the channel, my name is Charlotte. I am a holistic health coach certified, and I am here to help you on your health journey. I have 13 years cancer conqueror this year, and I want to help you prevent it, but I also want to help you, those that are going through it, but also give you some good health tips. This is the health and holiness journey. And so today I'm talking about parasites. I know it's an ugly word, it's things that we don't want to talk about. However, it's a needed conversation because the more that we're exposed to, different things in our environment, the more that we're exposed to different things in our food supply, air supply, water supply, we are going to be susceptible to parasites. However, there is a way that we can minimize our effect of parasites and how to get rid of them. And you have the ability to do that. And some of the ways that you start to feel like you possibly have them, you may just feel like sluggish. And I've been talking about this in the last several um, broadcasts because I want to help you to see where you can kind of focus your attention on if you're experiencing some type of sluggishness, if you're experiencing some type of, even if you just feel like off, like in your mind, your thoughts, um, your ability to accomplish things that were once so very easy to accomplish before, it could be a sign that you have parasites in your body and they are affecting your health. And one of the things that parasites do, they actually go into your microbiome and they actually start to destroy some of the good bacteria. So mainly when you're eating, you're eating whatever you're eating is being eaten up by the parasites. So you're technically feeding the parasites. And so one of the things that I want to help you to see is that you have the ability to not only minimize your effects, but you also have the ability to look at some of the things that you're eating, that you're exposing your body to, that include parasites. One of the areas is fish. Fish has quite a bit of, you can get heavy metals from fish, but you can also get parasites from fish. And you have to be careful of the source of the fish. And unfortunately, a lot of times in our society, we are not, we're so apt to just grab something because it's a quick fix, not realizing that there is something in that product, that food, that could very well be damaging our body with parasites. And there, you won't see them on the outside, but you will definitely feel the effects of them. It starts to disrupt your microbiome. It starts to disrupt some of the things. Yeah, sushi included. Welcome in. Yep, sushi is the top culprit of parasites because if you think about it, the fish are like scavengers in the ocean. And I'm not saying that you can't have fish, but you got to be careful of what type of fish that you're eating because more are more susceptible to parasites than ever before. So shout out to, who is that? To we Berglifley. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But yeah, fish is a main culprit. And so be careful of how much fish you're consuming, especially, your sushi eaters. You got to have your sushi. Listen, make sure that it is, do a plant-based sushi. It's much healthier for you anyway. And I'm not knocking fish totally, but you have to know the source. Another culprit is going to be your pets. Think about it. Whenever you take your pets to be dewormed, it's because they have parasites and they are susceptible to them when they come outside, when they're exposed to other animals, your pets. And so I encourage people, if you have pets, I know we love our dogs, we love our, cats, we love our animals. However, do not sleep with them because this is how a lot of times the parasites are transferred. Don't kiss them. I know we love them. I know it's hard, but do not kiss them because you're transferring parasites to your body unbeknownst to yourself. And so pets are a big one. And I know it's a sore spot for some, but these are the realities if you want to minimize your, exposure to parasites. And unfortunately, yeah, we have to know what they are so that we can minimize them. And so the other thing I want to talk about is the food supply, because there are certain processed foods. All of your, say for instance, I know everybody likes a good sandwich. You get your deli meat at the counter. Mm-mm. That meats in particularly, they carry nitrates, which is also very toxic to the body, but they also carry parasites. There are certain types of meat, if you don't know the source of where that meat came from, if it was not, the animal was not raised properly, wasn't exposed to a bunch of chemicals, and what they're feeding on. So you can have grass fed, but where was it grass fed? What was in the grass? What was the nutrient content or the minerals in the ground of where that particular animal grazed at? This is also very important. So meats is another culprit. The other area I want to talk about just briefly, because and here's a reason why, because I think if we don't see it, on the outside, we just don't think that it's happening to us, when in actuality it is happening to all of us, because this is the nature of where we are in our society. And so I think the last one was I wanted to talk about is just be careful of, certain grounding is wonderful. When we take off our shoes, we walk outside. It's an excellent way to, correct your circadian rhythm, but you got to know where you're grounding at. So when you take off your shoes and you walk on the grass, that's called grounding. And it is a great way to, just get your body back in sync. However, you have to know the type of soil that you're walking in, because this too can transfer parasites. And I wanted to bring this to you because our scripture today is in Malachi 3, because this is health and holiness. And Malachi 3 and 11, and it talks about, I will rebuke the devourer for your sake. This is the first portion of that scripture. And I want you to read the rest of it in the description, because the Lord will rebuke every devourer. Means that everything that comes to devour you, comes to devour the things that God has placed in you and through you in order to be able, for you to be able to prosper and advance forward. These are the things He will come to rebuke them if you get in line with Him. He will rebuke every devourer. And I believe we're in a time where He is rebuking the devourer. Why? Because He's bringing us the ability to help one another in our health journey, particularly because we are not just a body, we are spirit first. We live in a body, but we have a soul. So we're a triune being that must, every single part of us has to be, really has to be dealt with. Every single part of us has to be treated well. We're just, this is our temple. And guess what? It's not a trial run, it's not a rehearsal. This is the only body that we get. So if we are not good stewards of this body, it's over. So let's talk about briefly how we can get rid of the parasites. You know what I'm going to say? Detox. The only way that you can get rid of parasites throughout your entire body, that's your liver, that's your gallbladder, that's your pancreas, that's your gut, especially in the microbiome, because the microbiome, what the parasites do is that it goes in and I said this earlier, it goes in and it actually starts to attack the good bacteria. That's a no-no. We need the good bacteria, but we need a healthy balance of the good and bad bacteria. However, if we are not detoxing our bodies, I would say at least minimum 2 to 3 times a year. I mean, I'm talking about a full body detox. And if you know someone that does these detoxes, if you know a good provider that provides the sources and the resources in order to be able to do one, that's important too. But make sure you know the source and who it is. I use Global Healing Center. This is not a paid ad, but I like their products. Dr. Bobby. Many of you probably heard of him. He has a great detox that's coming up too. So find a detox and do a whole body detox, because it's so important for us to know what it is that's attacking us that we don't even know about. So I wanted to come on here and just share with you guys, know that there are parasites at work that are trying to destroy your entire body. Parasites that are trying to destroy the great advancement that you have already made in your life and your health journey. And you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence to get rid of them, because they are nothing. but just coming to cause wreak havoc on your body. And let me tell you something, that is not why. We don't want anything sabotaging our health journey. We don't want anything to disrupt what we have already started, because it's actually gonna derail some of the things that we've already accomplished. So listen guys, I'm getting out of here, and I want you guys to really understand that parasites are real. They are already at work, but you have the power. Remember our scripture in Malachi chapter 3 and verse 11. And it says that God says, I will rebuke the devourer for your sake. So I just want to give a shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for coming in. You Emmanuel, yep. Ion D 470 is the last one. Yep. And Shayana 1234. Thank you you guys for joining me. Listen, share it with somebody that you know, someone that you love, especially if you know that they're experiencing some of the things in their bodies that they don't really have answers for. And guess what? The medical community doesn't have answers for them either. I'm not knocking them, but these are things that they just don't look for. So we have to do our due diligence to know what's happening to our bodies and address it quickly. So listen guys, like the video, share the video. I'll be back on next week with a video, and tune in because I'm going to show you. Remember I told you guys that I was fermenting some garlic ginger honey, and I started the process. It's about a week old. As soon as I get home, I'm going to show you what it looks like so far, and let me tell you, this will regulate you throughout the whole winter, flu, whatever cold season that they claim that it is, and it'll help your immune system tremendously. You'll never get sick. I rarely ever get sick. Maybe if I'm traveling, but that's about it. So listen guys, thank you so much for joining. Check me out next time, and share this with someone. Let them know that parasites are real and that you can do something about it. Till next time, peace.